Take a moment to, as you extend your breath out, to feel your back muscles spreading wider and wider on the ground with your inhale, and that nice comfortable release with your exhale. Sometimes it's not super a lot of extra surface area, but imagine like you could breathe the low back into the ground with your inhale. There's so much expansion. That good release exhale. This is just an invitation to go deep, especially into the belly, especially into the low back. You'll notice in our class today, we're taking a lot of the periphery areas. That's our inspiration, that word periphery. And so a lot of what we'll be doing is focused on outer thighs, the sacrum, the low back, the shoulders and arms. We'll be focusing on all sorts of good areas throughout the periphery, so the outer part of us. And so a way to liken that idea of the outer edges, liken that so that our brain can be connected with a special, deeper kind of focus, is imagine your periphery vision. If you don't have that, you have tunnel vision. You're focused immediately on what's in front of you, which is important. It's good. Sometimes there's times for that where everything else in the world can kind of dissolve away. It's not so important. But having that ability to focus right back up through not just the center, but also spreading outward to see the whole picture can be so helpful. So in your life, if there's times that we're too focused, maybe we don't focus on loving those around us and just spending quality time with them. Maybe there's needs of others that we would have just passed by without even taking a thought about it. And that's where the periphery lies. Those little tiny intuitive thoughts. Sometimes it's just a text to somebody that, you don't know why you're sending them a text or doing a kind deed, but you do it, and then they tell you later that changed things for them. And so that's the kind of periphery, that intuition that's a lot further out. You can't necessarily know why, but it's there. And that kind of outer experience, that's where we're playing with. We're trying to build that up. And so that'll be what's in the back of our mind as we begin our class today. And so with that, let's begin. Knees can gently come into the chest. And as we're moving around, especially explore how it feels toward the outer parts. So a lot of times I'm rocking directly on the sacrum so I can kind of check in with how that sacrum's doing, but also feel what your experience is when you're at the farthest edges of the rocking. Sometimes there's a whole different light that comes on that's like, oh wow, okay, I feel this more in my back, I feel this more in my hips, or different things like that you may not have even noticed that you feel, because your center was more, your focus is more on the center. Good. So from here, let's begin to release the left leg long to the ground. You can just rest it. Right leg extends up to sky, an easy clasp around thigh or calf. And maybe we're experiencing tightness in our foot, so maybe the foot wants to rock around. Or maybe this is our first invitation to begin to open up into the hamstring area. So in that case, maybe play with straightening the leg and pulling in. Just be with this. I think of, because I'm a very visual person, I think of things either coming toward my eyes or going away from my eyes. And so the legs are very far away from my eyes, and even the toes, it's the farthest away you can get. So here we are, feeling that area of our body, feeling the hamstrings, big muscle groups. So now let's begin to open this leg out to the side. There's different things you could do here. You could reach up and grab the toes to open out, or you could let the right arm rest on the ground as kind of like a stand for that leg to rest on. I do like to feel the inner thigh stretching, so I'll readjust, maybe pulling the toes closer to the shoulders. If that helps me feel that stretch deeper, you can play with it. One thing though is try to keep lots of energy and activation on the left hip so it's not lifting up a lot. Good, another good inhale. Exhale, this leg can start to travel upward. Let's cross the leg halfway over to the left. So this is a chance to start feeling outer thigh, IT band, or sometimes for different people, it's more in the hip. There'll be several chances we have throughout our class today to really try to get into the IT band. So I've noticed some people, certain stretches help them to feel their IT band more than others. So it's okay if this isn't exactly the one, but just play around with tilting the leg or pulling the leg into different angles until you feel it just right. And then we'll continue to head to a full twist. So you can let the knee be bent to head to the twist, or you can keep it straight. It's really your preference. As I'm here, what I'm playing with now is letting my back, the upper back, stretch open onto the ground. It's a whole different type of expansion for the shoulders and the pecs to be spreading away from the direction of the knee. Now you could stay here, or you could take the right hand to your bottom toes to set up a nice little quad stretch while you're already in a beautiful twist. Let's take another huge inhale into the belly. Good. As we exhale, if we have the hand attached, release it. Let the hips and legs just kind of flop down onto the ground. And before we switch sides, we'll take a banana shape. So we'll start off to the left. So we need to cross right ankle over left. Then we'll scoot to the left. Grabbing onto right wrist, scoot the shoulders off to left. So huge banana, everything tilting laterally over to left. Feel yourself breathing into the ribs, into the diaphragm, into the belly. Stretching laterally like this is getting the periphery of our waist even. So one more inhale and exhale. We're back onto the center. Once we're here, left leg can begin to stretch up to sky. Grab onto the back side of the leg, wherever you would like. And maybe this is that chance for the toes, or maybe it's the hamstring and we're trying to pull it in. Your choice entirely. Your choice, maybe grabbing onto toes or maybe creating the left hand to be a stand. The left leg opens up to the left. This is nice to practice this here because we will eventually do this while standing, expanding our legs open to these periphery areas. So it's nice to feel, what is the hip arrangement? How wide does my left leg go without pulling my hips with it? And how much energy can I keep through the right leg as if I was standing on it? Good, so now this leg starts to rise. Let's tilt it halfway over to the right side. It's that point where the hip starts to lift off the ground. Try to see if you can find a way to get into that IT band. Then as we continue to head to the twist, your choice is the knee bent or straight. Continue to relax the spine open. Maybe at first you're stretching the shoulders open, exploring through the pecs. Maybe you want to take your free left hand over toward those bottom toes. Quad stretch being a part of our experience. Another huge inhale. Exhale, release. As we start to return our hips to the ground, this time the knees can come directly into the chest. So this next action will be slow motion. We'll be activating our core just a little bit and also just taking this slow motion to get through some deep stretches. For the first side, what we're doing is stretching the left leg to hover above the ground, and then right leg also extends up to sky. Grab on for just a moment, rolling it into a nice stretch. And then as left knee starts to come back in, take the right ankle to that left thigh, spread hands around, pull it in for a brief hug. This can be just maybe one breath, a nice inhale, exhale. And then as that left leg extends up back out, right leg reaches up to sky. And then we can switch the legs. So do a scissor switch, pull this left leg up. Eventually, right thigh comes in, left ankle on top of it. Give it a hug, at least a breath. From there, we'll continue to rotate back and forth between the legs. So it's just that simple action back and forth. It's up to you to know if you need to pause for extra time on any of the particular spots that you're in. But just know you don't have to rush through it. In fact, if you're wanting the core to work just a little bit harder, you can completely release the hands as you're going through that slow scissor switch, and you can exaggerate that speed. The breath flowing, whatever we're doing. Wherever we're at in this slow journey, let's explore one more time to each side, going through that full cycle with one thigh in and then the other. Each of us are going at different speeds, so we'll finish that second one, so the one to each side, we'll finish that at different paces. When you finish, if rolling like a ball feels helpful for the spine, go ahead and take a few of those. Eventually, when your spine is happy with that, we'll end up with the bottoms of feet together, and at first the feet are very far away from us, more like a star pose. So from here, as I start to relax, the first thing I'm going to do is plant my right hand to the right, left hand up and over. And I want you to take a moment to explore through the shoulder. That means I might pull my thumb back for a moment. And I might kind of round the shoulder forward for a little bit. This could be with stillness if you find the perfect angle, or you can have kind of constant motion and just another breath or two. When we come up, we switch sides, play with that shoulder as well. Lots of freedom, feels very open. Good. And then when we come up, we'll relax our spine forward. I notice in my body, as I make the head super, super heavy, it not only stretches the back of my neck, but it also, the weight of it pulls my entire spine, even down to the muscles of the low back. into a really deep stretch. So if that feels great for you, try to let the head just be super, super heavy, dropping down. If this angle feels perfect, stay just a bit longer. If you'd like to ease into left and right halves of the low back just a bit deeper, find the hands on the floor, and start to walk the hands just a little bit over to the right side. That would get us into the left half of the low back. And maybe over to the second side. Relax that to the forward plank. Another huge breath cycle open. And out. Walk the hands in to support the spine rising up. Beautiful. Pick up your left knee, flip it over to the right. And then your hands continue to walk toward that right side behind you. You can stay on hands or you can lower to elbows. It's almost like a restorative twist. We'll pause just a little bit longer, hoping to open up the low back, the spine. Feel what you're experiencing through the periphery. And then the side of the waist, shoulder, even the side of the neck maybe, based on how you're tilting the head. Coming up onto hands. As we start to walk our way forward, the left leg opens out to the left ankle. And then you can slide the hands forward, or you can inch your way closer to that straight leg. It's your choice, wherever you feel this the best. Just expanding through this lower. Back up. A brief moment with cobbler. This can be a little bit closer if you want to. Just relax the spine back over, notice the muscles, experiencing this stretch in a new way. Rising up, right foot over to the second side, right foot crosses over, hands can go behind, maybe lower to elbows. Back up on the hands when we return forward. Stand up the right leg that opens up to that angle. So you can slide forward or go toward the straight leg, whatever you like. Turning back up, another moment with cobbler. As we return, let's begin to swing our legs underneath. Take a couple of breaths just to play with how the spine is feeling. Explore into all the periphery. Don't feel like you have to just be up and down, but that would be fine. But maybe there's angles off to the right and off to the left that want to be explored also. Notice the breath is not rushed at all. That exploration helps to lead us toward a deep, slow rhythm. So from here, we'll start to take almost like an exaggerated cat cow for child's pose and cobra. So as we sink the hips back to child, really exaggerate the spine rounding up. And then as we start to slide back forward through cobra, start to arch like out. You choose the pace. This can be super slow. You can even pause in one or two of the spots. But just at your own pace, let it be a few rounds, back and forth. One more full cycle before we rest back into child. When you're at that resting spot, feel the low back and how it releases from this. If you're ready for downward facing dog, you're welcome to start stretching up to that shape. Enjoy any little explorations that want to happen. And here, another full breath cycle in and out. And we'll begin to make our way up to the top of the mat. Here up to the top, we're going to start walking our hands on the floor, onto that right side. Fill all those periphery angles. So the outer thigh, outer ribs, the outer shoulder. Good. Walk to the center, off to the left side. Make our way back forward, take another full breath cycle in, out. We'll rise up. So if you need to roll your spine up, want to turn the head, that's fine. If you want to circle the arms up, that's fine. So back through the center, drop your left hand to left thigh. When right arm goes up and over, do the same thing we did earlier. Play with the shoulder. You can just pause at the perfect spot, or you can kind of round forward a little bit, go back a little bit. Another breath cycle in, out, and then rising up. Wind that right elbow under the left, and just play with this nice eagle's arms for just a good. Open, drop the right hand down, left hand up and over. Begin to play with it. Maybe forward, backward. Another breath cycle. If this left hand comes up, it continues to spiral around, winding under the right. Any angles the shoulders want, play with them. Good, release. Stepping our right foot back, also cross it off the mat on the left side. From there, circle the arms up to the sky, grabbing right wrist, pull it to the left. Going a whole side body in that long angle. Release the arms, step back up to the top, and switch sides. I like to keep that front knee bent so I can kind of sink into the side of my hip. So reach up the left hand and pull it to the right. Release, step back up. As you circle the arms up to sky, feel the whole shoulder joint rising all the way up. And exhale, reverse it all the way back down to forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale as hands go down, just right foot slides all the way to the back. Drop the right knee down. Allow the hips to sink forward. This could be the perfect place to just pause for a while. If you want to try lifting left step to the sky for a twist, that could be beautiful. Or maybe left hand grabbing the back toes, that could be nice. It's up to you. More breath in. Out. Unwind from the twist, hands on the floor. Scoot the hips over the back knee. That leg works this way straight, nice half splits. Just pause here for a moment. So from here, we're going to start working into the IT band area. So this foot that's in front of us, tilt it over to the left until the side of the foot is there. And see if you can continue to walk your hands off to that left side. So for me, I feel this in the left IT band, but based on where your tightness is, maybe it's more the right side that's your reaching angle, or maybe different spots of the body. So whatever it is, as long as it's not painful, just stay and breathe. And we're turning our hands forward. When this leg comes back, you can choose child pose, down dog, or add a little toe here. Right foot starts to slide all the way up to the top. And it's there, the back knee can lower down. Sink the hips forward. Maybe we stay exactly like this. Maybe right hand reaches to sky. Or maybe right hand grabs the back toes. Inhale. Exhale, unwinding back, face down. Once we're there, scoot the hips back, grab the straight knee. We're trying to melt the heart closer to the thigh. Exhale, that side of the right foot starts to travel open to the ground. Once you're there, the hands continue to swivel open to that right side. forward. Step this leg back. Child pose, down dog, or float. Making our way up to the top of the mat. We're there, walk the hands off to the right side. On the left side. Back to the center. Take a full breath cycle in. Out. Inhale, rise. You can swing the arms up or go nice and slow. When hands are in the heart, shift your weight into your left foot. Your right knee starts to float up at a 90-degree angle. So once it's there, keeping this knee at a 90-degree angle, try to open the leg out as wide as it can in the shape. And then bring it right back midline. When you're there, drop this foot down. Second side, left knee up. Get wide. No, you don't have to rush. You can go as slow as you need to keep the balance. When it's back forward, drop it down. So we'll be doing this for a little while. You can either take it with that bent knee the whole time, or if either of you are happy and ready for hand to big toe, you can wrap the first two fingers around the right foot, the right big toe, keeping it out. Do the same thing. Move slowly through your balance, opening wide, returning, and lowering down. One more to each, whatever variation we're enjoying. It's okay. Whenever you finish, if you finish before others, just feel your feet grounding into the earth for a moment. There you go. There, add another variation. No hands. Ballet style. Good work. I love it. It does. It does. Yep. Yep. I love it though. Okay. And then from here, floating this right knee back up, bend angle. Rotate the right ankle to left thigh. And then standing by, bend a little bit to create a shelf. You can stay here if this is the best balance, or you can lower your hands down to the shin or hands down to the floor. It's up to you. The idea is playing with balance and also trying to get toward the sacral area, kind of expanding space into that area. I'm going to try to rise up with balance. Load this right knee out in front of us again. Take it back to warrior three. Arms can be at heart, airplane, or forward. Try to pause warrior three at least one full breath. And we'll step that leg back towards the back of the mat. This is a shorter stance than normal because both legs are going to be straight. We're going to immediately head towards pyramid. So make sure hips absolutely are able to square. And then from that square hip, start to slide the hands down. Maybe we pause at the thigh, maybe at the shin, and maybe we travel to the floor. Another chance to get into that IT band. Just come with me step by step. What we're going to do as we start to walk our hands off to the left side is get eventually both sets of toes to turn to that left side of our mat, that left long edge. So it'll end up with that left leg significantly crossed over. And then we're just keeping our hands on the floor to keep us balanced. And just breathe into that IT band here again. Walking forward. We're going to balance on the front foot. So as you're there, hands are on the floor, floating the leg up to the hip level would be a supportive warrior 3. Continuing to float beyond that. Maybe we play for a moment with standing split. Maybe fingers walk closer to the toes. Maybe one hand wraps around the calf or Achilles area. Maybe both hands. Nice inhale. Exhale, the feet land. Just let the spine relax down. Walk the hands off to the right side. Off to the left side. To the center, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise. You can go as slow as you need. Hands back down to the heart. Start to float the left knee. Rotate the left ankle to the right thigh. Bending the leg creates a shelf. So maybe we pause here, or maybe we begin to travel down to any degree that our balance will allow, especially trying to feel that sacral area just expanding. Like by pulling it to the periphery, we're creating space where sometimes there's compression in problems like sciatica. More breath. And try to rise up with balance. And crossing this leg float. Send it back, warrior 3. Try to balance at least a breath cycle in and out. And just an easy land. Both legs straighten right away. Keep the hips forward and we slide forward. To walk the hands off to the right side, continuing to rotate both sets of toes to that right long edge. Legs are super crossed, so just make sure knees are safe, but try to just breathe into that IT band area or whatever else you're experiencing. To return forward. When you're there, just like the toes are facing forward, shift your weight onto the right leg. Left leg starts to float, supported warrior 3, or continue to kick it, the leg up. Trying to walk the fingers in maybe. Maybe one hand around the chest, maybe both, extending split. Nice inhale. And exhale, drop down, forward fold. Open the hands off to the right side. Off to the left side. Forward, full breath cycle, resetting the spine. Heel toe the feet out about as wide as mat. Take the toes out. Take our yogic squat, as long as the knees can handle it. Elbows push out into the knees. Sometimes this is about all we can handle, so don't feel any pressure to go anywhere beyond this. If you want to try to stretch the arms open, what we're going to do is start to scoot the right shoulder closer to the right knee. From there, right hand to the floor, left hand up to the sky, or bind. Release, open, and back to the center. Good. If you took the first side, take the second. Left shoulder sliding down, left hand to the floor, sky, or bind. It's funky. Just like that. Yep. Good. Open. Then return through the center. One more breath in. Out. Open the hands to the ground. Straighten the legs, turn the toes forward. Head back. Choose child pose, down dog, or a flow. Toward plank position. Your right leg crosses underneath you off the left side of the mat. Straight leg, set the side of the mat down. You can either stay here for a moment, almost like a plank challenge, or let's float to the side. Inhale. Exhale, hand goes down. Set the side of the right hip down, just like this. It's directly lowering. So both legs are trying to maintain straightness, whether you're at 90 degrees, higher or lower, doesn't matter too much. Ultimately, the idea is twisting the torso forward and lowering down to elbows. This one is supposed to be both an IT band stretch and a massage for IT band. So if you don't really feel the IT band, slide the leg a little bit higher. And Bobby, what I'm doing is more to the top. Next, because we have our body weight right on that IT band area, massaging. For the last couple of breaths, if you want to go deeper, you can slide the toes higher, but you don't have to. inhale. And with our exhale, what we're going to do is come up. And we'll rock onto both sitting bones. So this will face you kind of toward the back of the room. Just plant the hands in between your legs and slide to that angle. Inhale. Slowly ease our way up. Once we're up, let's travel onto our mat again. If you want one last flow, you're welcome to take it. Otherwise, child's pose or down dog for a moment is fine. We're taking another good inhale. Exhale, the shoulders come forward like a plank. Left leg crosses under, straight leg off to the side. So maybe right hand floats up to sky like a side plank, as long as it's not too much. And the hand drops down, let's lower onto the side of that left hip. If you want to readjust the angle of the legs, you can make it easier sliding it down. You can make it harder sliding it closer to the top of the mat. We'll continue to rotate our shoulders toward the top of the mat, dropping to elbows if you can. More breaths, keep them slow and steady. Same thing, coming up onto hands. Rotate both sitting bones down. We're in a wide angle stretch, so just find the hands in front of you and slide forward. This is the last thing we're doing together today, so if you want to stay here for a while, that's just fine. If you want to play with other angles, like stretching an arm up and over and the other, or at any point start to explore any other poses your body would love to be in before Shavasana, you have that complete freedom at any point. Shaky means we lightly fatigued it, so that's a good sign. Yes. I consider all that a good sign. Exactly. That's what we're going for. That's all good.
Now we can walk out of here. Yes, one day you'll have to supply us wheelchair.
Okay. Sounds good.
Oh, good geriatric class.
Exactly.
So I gotta tell you, the class last night, they were all beginners.
Yeah.
They looked geriatric.
If you don't do yoga, it looks like it.
No, they do.
Yeah.
They are. They're like 20 years younger than me. Yeah. No, 30. Oh, 40. 40 years younger than me. I'm gonna be 60 in April. I got you back.
You were awesome.
Who's your oldest? Oh, I know your grandma. Who's your oldest at home?
There are several that used to come before that may or may not be open here. I'm not sure. They haven't come back since the closures yet. But I'm hoping.
That's
Once I asked Whitney how old someone was, her grandmother, someone she said, how old are you?
Yeah, I always just assume people are my age, except for like when it's obvious that they're not, and then it's like, no, they're not my age. So I don't know. I'm older.
I still feel like I'm 28.
Yeah, yeah,
No joke.
yeah.
Until I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, you're not 28.
Oh, you guys are both. I think you're gorgeous. So
But really, truly, I feel like I'm 28. I mean, that's no exaggeration. I mean, inside, I mean, I think, like I look at people that around that, I think I'm that age.
I think life has given us a good move on this. That when you're no longer 20.
that could be too.
Yeah.
Perhaps it's useful to continue to try to breathe just like we did at the beginning into some of those periphery areas. So maybe it's kind of spreading your surface area on your back on the floor just a little bit, that 1 millimeter or 2. Or maybe it's expanding into your side ribs and your belly, those deeper areas. But we got several more minutes just to be. So let this breath take over. Allow the breath to begin to deepen in. and out. Introducing little movements, left fingers and toes. Ankles and wrists. Stretching out like we're waking up first thing in the morning. Eventually taking a nice fetal position off to one side. Maybe 2 or 3 really deep, beautiful breaths before we rise. When we arise with our hands in front of the heart, allow your eyes to be open, but let them be soft. Kind of equally trying to take in the whole picture, and especially trying to see what you can see in the periphery. Notice how if you move the eyes to try to look for the periphery moves. So kind of keep that softness to see the whole picture. And just like this, as we travel into our amazing day today, imagine keeping your metaphorical vision a bit wider, able to see these deeper peripheral things, seeing people not only for what they're expressing, but for their deeper needs, maybe what service you can provide. And touching in with our intuition that lies clear on that realm, barely able to touch consciously. So with this idea of periphery to allow us to travel forward powerfully, let's wrap up the time we got to share together today with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. Om. May we be filled with light, happiness, and peace. Namaste.